The partnership broker, me, operates as an active go-between or intermediary between different organizations and or sectors that aim to collaborate as partners in a sustainable development initiative. As a partnership broker, my role may entail, and it's not limited to these things, seeding the idea of a partnership to begin with, inspiring decision makers to follow a multi-sectoral approach to their sustainable development efforts, build active collaboration between the partners, and to encourage a kind of behavior that will help the partnership function effectively and creatively, as well as to protect the principles and vision of the partnership. As it relates to the approach in Jamaica, one of the first things we sought to do was to create what we call an innovative partnership group. And this group was made up of a small group of robust and innovative local, regional, and international partners working together on the market access initiative, linking small farmers to the local hotel and supermarket sector. The first month working as a partnership broker was a challenge. While I understood in theory what the role entailed, operationalizing it or putting it into practice within the context of Jamaica was for me uncharted waters. Aside from thinking through operationalizing the role, I had to adjust to working collaboratively with people thousands of miles away and in different time zones. And if anybody knows me, I'm not a morning person. I also had to adapt to working alone and to, self-motivate to some extent. However, the challenge of distance was immediately overcome as I spoke to my team in the regional office in Mexico via Skype almost every day. I was speaking to Tim like every hour, on the hour for that first month. The technical support in getting my email up and the eagerness of persons to arrange orientation talks also made a difference in time and space virtually non-existent, and my integration in the team almost seamless. Working on my own turned out to be more liberating than ever. Once I had my work plan figured out and a schedule developed, I fashioned my schedule along the 9 to 5 routine that I was used to and prepared myself for work each day in very much the same way I would if I was going to an office. So I went to a virtual office each morning, which was at my desk in the next room. But I prepared myself as if I was going out on the road to drive to the office, which I think was very important. As it relates to the partnership broker approach, several scenarios presented themselves to me. However, I decided to take a learning approach to the role. I recognized the importance of thinking outside of the box. I recognized quickly that a learning approach was crucial because I did not want to take for granted that the partnership broker approach is the facilitator approach and settle into working as a facilitator rather than as a broker. Also, by taking a learning approach, I believe that it would be easier for me to reflect on the role and document its strengths and weaknesses and the challenges I would face working in a partnership. My first task was to develop a detailed work plan as it would guide the way I approach a partnership broker role and the accompanying terms of reference that framed the role. I also began developing a stakeholder and network map so as to practically outline some of the strategies I would employ. I knew I had to see the idea of a partnership with various stakeholders. However, I recognized that it would require a certain level of sensitivity, and especially as it relates to the potential local partners. While the potential international and regional organizations I would be targeting were familiar with the concept of working in a partnership, I was not too sure that the local organizations were familiar with the working in such a manner, especially with an organization like Oxfam. Secondly, within the Jamaican context, I had to be mindful of the territorial way different sectors operated, as this could derail the idea of the partnership even before it took root. By the second month of working in the role, I believe I began to hone my skills as a partnership broker. This was due in part to the proactive learning approach I took, but also to the coaching sessions I began with the New Economics Foundation. And Chris is here in his capacity of founder of Making Spaces, but he was at NEF at the time and he was my coach. Chris, please wave. Right. I began with the New Economics Foundation and the intense discussions I had weekly with the regional markets and enterprise advisor, Tim. In these and those discussions were sometimes like quarrels, but we achieved the objective at the end of the day, at the end of the discussion/quarrels. In these coaching sessions, we discuss a range of issues surrounding managing partnerships, such as identifying and meeting the needs. The next step was to get them to follow a multi-sectoral approach to achieve the goals of the partnership, and also to build an active collaboration between the partners themselves as well as other stakeholders. These two latter objectives are still a work in progress, and I must say that we have achieved some level of success as is indicative of the activities surrounding the Market Access Initiative. Now, over 1 year into the position, I sometimes contemplate about why more organizations do not work in this manner. Even though working in a partnership and as a partnership broker has its challenges, I am of the strong opinion that there are clear benefits. These benefits include each partner organization brings to the partnership certain resources and expertise that may not have been otherwise accessible. 2, it encourages partners, particularly the local partners, to work together and to take ownership of the activities of the partnership. 3, it allows different organizations that perhaps would not under normal circumstances be working with each other to appreciate the value each other can bring to the partnership, albeit from different perspectives. The challenges I have faced so far working as a broker stem primarily from more culturally specific considerations and relates to capacity issues rather than a fundamental problem with the approach itself. Culturally speaking, the challenges derive from the culture of the organizations within the partnership. My ability to navigate these issues to a large extent is due to my having a profound and informed, so I think, understanding of the cultural specificities of Jamaican. And I say so I think because I'm assuming this because I'm Jamaican. Coupled with my previous experiences working with organizations from the different sectors. For example, I knew there would be distrust among the farmer groups and the private and political stakeholders. I knew that before. I also knew that there would be an attempt by some stakeholders to try and claim the partnership as their own, and as such to seek to get the most benefit while at the same time not necessarily matching with the commitment of resources. I also knew that local partners would see Oxfam and the other regional and international partners as potential sources for funding and would join the partnership for that reason only. I believe these are good challenges, as it gave me the opportunity not only to challenge myself, as to how to overcome them, but also for the partnership itself to be challenged about the conventional ways of working and thinking about how they approach other organizations. It also provides partners with a good opportunity to identify and address their own weaknesses. Most importantly, it allows Oxfam as an organization to be more effective in its development work by allowing everyone to share risk and to anticipate these challenges and devise strategies for overcoming or mitigating them. Now, the Innovative Partnership Group consisted of Oxfam, of course, the Travel Foundation, Virgin Holidays, at one point the Jamaica Agricultural Society, Christiana Potato Growers, and we have that organization being represented by Mr. Alvin Murray, and the Caribbean Farmers Network, which is represented by Ms. Renortha Penny. Following the formation of this core partnership group, a more extensive partnership has been developed over the last few months. The larger partnership focused mostly around the feasibility study on the viability of the social intermediary enterprise, or the JAMI, which is the Jamaica Market Access Initiative, which is a business model that we believe would be the best way or the most effective way to link farmers to the hotel and supermarket sector. Some of those organizations, CADER, represented by Carlos Ostatag, the SEAT team, the UE team, Teresa, Dr. Riney, Jason are here, and a few other organizations that Tim already mentioned. Coming out of the partnership and the activities that we have done so far, of course, is the feasibility study on the social intermediary enterprise. Also, the technical collaboration between Oxfam and MIT, between SEAT and UE. And I should mention that there are a number of students from UE who will be going on an exchange to SEAT as part of the working relationship that they have developed. And one student has been awarded a 6-month internship with SEAT. He's actually here, not in the room, but it's Jason Gordon. We're now in the process of developing our work plan for the Women's Economic Leadership Project, which will be spearheaded by Professor Vereen Shepherd from the Institute of Gender and Development Studies, and Susan Charles, who's also from the Institute. Can you just, right. Out of the partnership also, the Christiana Potato Growers, I should specifically mention as one of the, the champions of the partnership. When we decided that the Market Access Initiative was something we want to engage, Christiana was one of the first organizations to be out there actively working to get this done. From the efforts of Mr. Murray and his team, for example, we have been able to identify a private investor who would like to work along with Christiana and the farmers to establish this social intermediary business. And David will be here with us shortly. I think he should. Oh, hi, David. David over here, who's a very brave soul to be taking us on, but David has been very helpful and very open to the suggestions that we have made about how this business can be organized so it can best benefit not only himself as an investor, but also the farmers. And I'm sure once the government realize how good we're at with what we're doing, they will grant us the Colleyville facilities, which is in Christiana.